Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at using AutoCAD. I'm sorry, using SolidWorks in a similar manner to AutoCAD, where we're going to make a pure 2D drawing and not even worry about what's going on with the 3 dimensions. And this could be handy if you're doing floor plan layouts, if you ever have to do electrical interface diagrams or anything like that. And this could be useful maybe in some of your other classes where you have to draw some 2D stuff. So let's actually get started. What we're going to do is we're going to start a new drawing. Yes. We're going to do it in inch, pounds, seconds, and all that great stuff. And so we are going to do a drawing because we're going to go right in it without even worrying about any parts whatsoever. We're going to pick an A-size drawing. So let's click out of the standard formats and we're going to go to an A-sized ANSI drawing. We are not going to show the display sheet format because we're going to be playing around and just making a big drawing. And so there we go. We have our piece of paper. And then we're just going to click off of that because we're not going to worry about bringing any model views up. But we do want to play with the sheet properties, so we're going to right click on this and go to properties. And we are going to change the scale. And we're going to make this a 1:24 scale. We're going to apply the changes. So now every 1 inch on the paper is going to be 24 inches in real life. And so actually, let's go back into that and go to properties, and we want to go to, oh, actually no, that is sheet properties. We're done with that. We are going to want to go into our drawing properties, document properties. And so once that opens up, I want to go to document properties. Since we are doing an architectural drawing, I do want to change the way that we're going to dimension things just a little bit. So we're going to go here to units, and we are in the inch, pound, second, but we're going to go to custom. And the reason I want to go to custom is I want to change my length to be from inches to feet and inches, which is more of an architectural kind of thing. And we want no dimensions, no decimals. We want just whole numbers. And so there we go. And I'm going to say OK. And so now that puts me in a point where I can start drawing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the outside of my room, and we're going to play around with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to sketch, and we're going to draw ourselves a nice little rectangle. Now, as we look at this, you can see it's blue just like it would be in a regular thing. Okay, and so now we're going to dimension this thing. And as we pop it up, see, it pops up as 10'6" because we made that change in the thing. So we're going to make this 14 feet this way. Now, I typed in 14, and you see it came up 1'2" because of the way it's set. So we're going to have to go 14-0. No, it doesn't do it that way either. I forget, how does one pop that in? I don't remember. I think it's just 14 apostrophe for feet. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, apostrophe is feet, double apostrophe is inches, and so this would be 16 feet. Okay, and notice this is blue, which means that we can grab it and move it around. Remember, we don't want that. We want to lock things in. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that I've told you not to do, is I'm going to go and I'm going to fix that point. So that's the anchor point. So everything's based off of that point, so it's all locked into place. And so that's all fine now. This is one of those few occasions where we want to use a fixed. And so I'm going to draw a line here. And then I am going to dimension that line because I'm going to put a doorway in here. So I want this to be 5 feet. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to draw a line and then we will dimension that line. We got to make sure that we pick the line because we're going to end up with the whole thing. So there's the end point. And sometimes when you do it this way, it's kind of hard to grab. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is we're going to delete that. I'll put my 5-foot measurement in here. Now the thing is we had originally locked that point in. That was part of that line, so I'm going to have to go back to and fix. Oh, actually no, wait. We have to put in. We're going to have to put in our horizontal and stuff. Anyway, I've got those two in, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put this line back. We're going to make that horizontal. Okay. And now everything's black again because we put that in with the horizontal, so that's good. So let's go and draw some lines. I want to draw a vertical here, and then I'm going to draw a vertical here. So now I have those two lines that are coming up. And so what I'm going to do is I want to draw my doors now. And so the way that I'm going to do that is we're going to make an arc. And we're going to use a center point arc. And so what a center point is we're going to pick the center point, and then we're going to bring this up to where we want. And actually we should probably put a dimension in on that door swing. In fact, let's not worry about it. We'll make it work. Oh. So let's start this again. Center point arc. I'm going to pick here. I'm going to pick on here, and then I'm going to bring it up till it hits that line there. That's all blue, but we'll take care of that. So I'm going to just oh, look at that. We need to put horizontals in for those so they won't drag out. So I'm just going to go back here, put in my horizontals. I'm going to select this point. I'm going to select my arc and this point, and we're going to make them coincident, so that'll drag that up. Drag that point down just to make that arc a little bit smaller. I'm going to do the same thing over here because we're eventually going to put these two together and make a door. I'm going to do the same thing here. So I've drawn in my arc. I'm going to take that arc, hold control, put the point, make those coincident. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this point, I'm going to take this point, and I'm going to merge them. So that's going to make them coincident. So now that we've done all that, those are kind of messed up looking doors, so I'm going to select that arc, I'm going to select that arc, and I'm going to make them equal, which is going to make them the exact same size. So now we have our door swings there. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to change up the lines a little bit. So we're going to take this big one here, and we need to, the doors need to be like hidden lines or phantom lines so we can actually, so they look like they're swinging open, so we know that they're not always there. So in order to make those changes, we need a function that's not typically shown because it's not used all the time. So if you come up here to the command bar and right click and then go to line format, that is going to bring up all these little guys down here. It allows us to play around with the line formatting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this here, and then if I go to line style, I'm going to pick on that. I'm going to turn that into a dashed line. Now I did the whole big one on the bottom here, but since I drew these two short walls out, you're not going to see it. That's fine. And so then what I want to do is I want to pick the two arcs, and I'm going to turn those into a phantom line. And so there we go. So now we can kind of show the door opening up, and everything's going to be there, and that's going to be fine. So what we have here is we have a sketch of the room. And I'm going to end the video here. In the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to start making some testing equipment for us to put into our room, and then we'll finish up the drawing.